I tried to record this 100 fucking times, but you know what? It's here, bitch! Alright. Hey guys, it's Pat Keebler here for Which Has Been a Day with Tim Allen, WYSADWTA. Don't have the sign right behind me, but whatever. And today I'm finally getting to my CD collection. So this is the first episode of the CD collection update series, which is kind of like our DVD Blu-ray update videos, except instead of Blu-rays and DVDs, I have CDs. Ben and Alex, they have a pretty good collection of CDs too, probably even better than mine. But I just thought I'd get into my CD collection too, because I kind of wanted a solo series myself, because Bat has first-time views and reviews, and the DVD update, and Lex has the GTA Let's Plays, which I'm not sure how well that's going to do, but, whatever. But, yeah, so I'm just going to be going into the CDs that I currently have, and I'm going to be posting weekly updates on the different CDs that I get. And so, yeah, let's get right into it. Okay, yeah, I also realize it sounds really echoey in here, so sorry about that. But anyway, here we go. Alright, so, first CD I got for you guys, Ramones, Rocket to Russia. One of my favorite Ramones albums. I've probably had this for not too long, but I've had it for a while. It's definitely probably one of my favorite, more favorite classic punk albums. It's what I really like and don't like about it is that it has about 19 songs. Well, technically, if you look at the back here, trying not to see the reflection of the thing. Yeah, if you look here, it only has about 14 songs, but then it has another 5 bonus tracks. So it has like a total of 19 songs. And for me, when I hear an album that has like 19 songs, I feel like it's just going to be, droning on and on and on forever. But honestly, with this one, it doesn't really feel like I'm forced to listen to this for a long time. Well, that's probably also because the longest song on this album is 2.5 minutes, and the shortest is 40 some seconds, I want to say. No, only a minute and a half. But either way, so yeah, all the songs are really short, so that's probably how they get away with that kind of thing. But yeah, so overall, really like this album. Would definitely recommend. Gonna put that there. Next two albums kind of go hand in hand. I got Enema. I had that upside down. Got Blink-182, Enema of the State, and I got Blink-182, the self-titled album. Both of these albums are really great, but if I had to choose just one album to listen to, if I had to choose one and not listen to the other, I would probably have to go with the self-titled album, solely because it has a lot more experimental songs than Enema of the State. Don't get me wrong, I love Enema. It's probably one of my other favorite classic punk albums, but I don't know. I just really like this. I just really like the sound that this album has, and this album, has a lot of more faster, harder songs, whereas this one kind of has a lot more slower ones. I'm Lost Without You. That's a 6.5 minute song, and I love it. That's probably my favorite song off of the album. It's Bat's least favorite, solely because it's 6.5 minutes. But yeah, so yep, Enema, self-titled. Love these two albums. Probably one of my favorites. Another two that kind of go hand in hand. We got Clash, London Calling, and we got the Clash self-titled album. These are actually kind of cool. These were a gift from my uncle when I was I want to say 14 or 15. I was a freshman in high school. Let's put it that way. So yeah, this is kind of what got me really hooked on classic punk. So, and I probably listened to these two albums and Rocket to Russia more than probably any other album, because I just really love classic punk. And again, if I had to choose between these two, I'd probably go with the self-titled album. I don't know why I like self-titled albums more. It's just, I have no idea why. It's maybe just a coincidence, but, well, and it's probably also because this is the album that has I Fought the Law and what other? And White Riot, which actually is in one of the Tony Hawk skating games. I think it's Underground 1 that it's in. I'd have to double check. But either way, love both of these albums. All right. And moving on to one of my favorite bands of all time, Descendants and Joy. I think this is probably their fourth album, I want to say. But yeah, again, I really like this album. It's actually really short. It has about 12 songs, so it's like an average-ish song list of songs for an album. But yeah, it's the longest song. The longest song is like almost like 8 minutes, and that's "Days Are Blood," which is probably one of my favorite songs off of it. Actually, no, not "Days of Blood." "Days Are Blood." My favorite song off of this album would definitely have to be "Wendy," which, ironically enough, is not written by the Descendants. It was written by, it says on the CD here, Brian Wilson wrote it. But yeah, probably one of my favorite songs, "Wendy." Really love this album. And let's see. And it turns out, yes. It turns out Carl wasn't, the current bass player Carl was not on this album. It was Doug Carrion. I mean, I knew they had a different guitar player for this album, but I did not know they had a different bass player too. And I love Carl. I mean, he's probably one of the bass players that I idolize, really. Next to him would have to be, Mark Hoppus, obviously, and Chris Barker, or Chris number 2 from Anti-Flag, just because I just love the styles of, not the styles, rather, but their skill level and just how they apply themselves on stage. But yeah, so long story short, love those bass players, love that album. Love it. Alright, so this bit up here is pretty much all of these next CDs are all by Green Day. I pretty much have all of Green Day's albums except for the trilogy, so I'm pretty much just going to be going through these CDs, what I think of them, and yeah. So, alright. So, first ever album by them. 1039 Smoothed Out Slappy Hours. Not a big fan of this album. I mean, it's pretty good for like a band's first ever album, but not every band's first album is gonna skyrocket. I mean, for example, Panic at the Disco, their first album, A Fever You Can't Sweat Out. That album was their first album, and it skyrocketed. Why? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, an album that comes out like that doesn't really come out very once in a while. Unfortunately, this is not that kind of album. Still pretty good. Not my favorite, but then again, it's a first album, so it's not really. I mean, it doesn't really have too high standards. Next album, Kerplunk. I've been looking for this album forever. I've been looking for this album forever because I couldn't find it in Pre-Played or St. Vinny's or anywhere. I've been searching pretty much all around the globe, metaphorically speaking, and yeah, I finally picked this up about a week and a half ago, I think. And this is probably one of my other, not my favorite albums, but I'm gonna say all these albums are my favorite albums. But yeah, this is actually pretty good. And actually, I think this is the only album that they released that wasn't on Reprise. Because if you look at the spine, yeah. So this album right here and all of their other albums were released on Reprise. This one was released on Lookout, actually, back in the day. But yeah, really love this album. Really love Dominant Love Slave. That's probably one of my favorite songs by them of all time, solely because Trey sings on it, and it's just really funny when he sings. It's just, but that's just me. All right. Next album they released, Dookie. Big one. It's kind of what they got them into the mainstream. Yeah, I'd say it's a really good album. Really love Having a Blast, favorite song off the album. Probably Pulling Teeth, FOD, which means Fuck Off and Die, I'm assuming. But yeah, unfortunately, there are some copies where, so if you look at the back, it's just a bunch of people messing around. Where this space would be right here, Some copies actually have Ernie from Sesame Street, like some guy holding up like a puppet of Ernie, and it was like erased from like a lot of like the later made versions of the CD for like copyright reasons. I think I don't really know, but yeah, Bad Lucks they keep selling. They keep selling. They keep telling me that, oh, do you have the version that has Ernie on the back? And I'm like, well, no. I mean, I don't really see the point of getting that. I mean, if I do end up getting it, I mean, then what would be the point of having this one then? I mean, it's just, I mean, I might get it in the near future. I might not. I don't really know. But yeah, really great album. Next one, and tied with my favorite Green Day album, with another CD I'm going to show in a minute. Somniac. This is probably both me and Bad's favorite Green Day album because it's like their most punk album ever, and I just really, really love like the fast pace and like high energy that this has, and yeah, it just really gets me like pumped up. Like it gives me just like so much energy. But what really sucks about the copy that I have is that once it gets to Walking Contradiction, which is like the last song, so it's not too bad. Whenever I play it in my car, it just kind of skips. So, yeah, I mean, it's not too bad. I mean, it is one of my favorite songs, but, you know, it's like at the end of the album, so it's not too bad. But what is really weird, or really cool about this, I should say, is that you take this out, little dust cover thing, I'm not sure what you call this, and most of these, they are like a book pamphlet that has like the lyrics and like who like mixed the album, produced the album, blah, 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 blah. This, you actually unfold, and it's like a little mini poster, kind of. Which is kind of cool, but also kind of sucks in a way, because if I'm like in the car and I'm listening to this album, I have to unfold the entire thing just to look at the lyrics, because the lyrics on the back right here. And I don't think they're even in order, which probably drives me even more insane. So, yeah, that's something that kind of irks me a little bit. But, you know, it's whatever. Alright. Yeah. You know. But, yeah. Really great album. Love this album. Love it. Love it. Alright, this is gonna go in. Yep. Alright, last album that they had in the 90s, and also tied with one of my favorite albums, is Nimrod. I'm a little biased towards this one because this kind of came out the year I was born, 1997. Actually, I think it came out just a few months after I was born. I think, because I was born in May of 1997, and I think this came out in October of that year. I'm not quite sure, but I'm gonna I will put the date it was officially released right here. And so yeah, now you know when it came out. But yeah, really love this album. It's really experimental. Last Ride In, it's not my favorite song, but it's like really kind of funky in a way because it feels like I'm in an elevator or like some sort of like Cuban hotel or something. But I just really think it's kind of cool because it's like, I don't know, it's just like kind of like devoid from like the rest of the album. But the entire album itself is actually pretty cool. But yeah, so that's Nimrod. Probably, they're definitely tied with Insomniac for my favorite Green Day albums ever. Alright, now moving on to the 2000s albums that they have released. Starting with Warning. Boom. Right there. I'm pretty neutral about this album. I think this is Bat's favorite album, actually. But it's their least popular album and like least selling album because it's probably, I think it's just because of like the way it sounds or like the way it's mixed. I'm not really sure which it is, but or maybe it's just, you know, like maybe not every album that every band releases is a winner, but I don't know. I'm pretty neutral on it. I do like Castaway. I will say that. I really, really like Castaway. Solely for the bass line because, you know, as a bass player, you know, you just gotta love songs that have like really cool bass lines. So, yeah, this album, pretty neutral. That's pretty good. I mean, it has its ups and it has its downs. It's whatever. Alright. Now, moving on to what I think is a pretty underrated album, Shenanigans. Boom. It actually doesn't say it on the cover here. It says it on the spine, right there. Kind of like Enema of the State album. It doesn't say it like on the front, it says it on the spine. But yeah, really like this album. Probably You Lied or Haha You're Dead is probably my favorite songs off of these albums. But what really sucks is that the American version of this actually doesn't have DUI, which is probably my third favorite song off of this album. But yeah, they don't have it on the American version. I mean, you can probably like look it up on YouTube, or if you live in like a different country, like England or like Germany or whatever, it's probably on that version. But yeah, I really like that song, and I really wish they would put it on the American version. I don't know why they didn't. Probably for like, I don't know, safety reasons. But like, if you listen to like any of our other albums, that's probably going to be like the least of your issues. All right. Next album, probably their most iconic album, according to the general media, American Idiot. I wouldn't say this is my favorite album. I do like it, but I'd probably gotten a lot of like buzz over it when it first released in, what was it, 2004. It was released. And it's actually their first concept album. Probably won't be the last. I mean, then there's the next album that came up. Not sure if that's going to be the last. But yeah, I actually remember when I was first listening to this album when I was a kid. I was in the car. I was listening to the radio, and "Wake Me Up When September Ends," which is now probably my least favorite song. It just came onto the radio, and I just told my mom, "Wait, I gotta finish the song because it's like so good." And then I just started to like look for the what album it came off of, and then I looked for the band, and yeah, that's probably how I got hooked on the Green Day in the first place. Was "Wake Me Up When September Ends," which I know is like extremely cliche, but it's kind of how it's my story, and I'm sticking with it. But yeah, so overall, pretty good album. A lot of people are going to say it's probably their favorite album, but I don't know. I mean, it's not my favorite album by them, but it's definitely a really good album. I will say that. And moving on to the next album, which is also a concept album. Boom. 21st Century Breakdown. So it's a concept album, but it's also kind of an informal American Idiot Part 2 because it kind of has like the same themes and dilemmas. The storyline has the same themes and dilemmas as American Idiot, but like the characters are different. I'm pretty sure like the plot line is different. And again, that's another thing I don't really like about this is it has 18 songs, and all the songs are at least like 3 minutes, so it's a pretty long album. I think it's like almost like an hour long, probably. I'd have to look it up, but yeah, it's almost like an hour long. And yeah, there's one song, American Eulogy. It's kind of like a 2 songs in one, which is weird, but then again, there's also American Idiot right here, because American Idiot has Jesus of Suburbia. That's a 5-part song, and then Homecoming. That's also a 5-part song, and both of those songs are like 9 minutes. But yeah, all the songs on this one are about 3 to 4 minutes, and so yeah, it's a pretty long album, but I think it's actually pretty cool. All right, but anyway, skipping the trilogy because I currently do not own that right now. Their newest release back in, which came out this past October, I believe, Revolution Radio. Doesn't say it on the spine. Am I holding it upside down? No. So yeah, Revolution Radio. I think the album actually got leaked online when it was just about to come out in like a few weeks, and Bat actually downloaded it. That's a word. But yeah, I mean, being like the musical hipster that I am, I actually waited to download it, probably like the day it got released, which is like October 7th, I think. Yeah, it was October 7th because the day this came out, Sum 41's new album, 13 Voices, came out, and then NoFX's new album came out, which the name of now escapes me. Again, that we'll probably put the name of that album right here. But yeah, it's actually pretty cool. It's actually a pretty cool album. Really love it. But what I don't get is how this is like one of like the few albums that doesn't have a parental advisory sticker on it, because they only say "fuck" in Youngblood, and that's it. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because, like the song. I mean, the songwriting process is like a long and painful process. Trust me, I know. But it's it's whatever. But yeah, really like this album. I think it's pretty good. Again, not my favorite, but yeah, I definitely recommend it. And yeah, that's pretty much all of my CDs that I got. So yeah, if you have any more CD suggestion updates, just leave a comment down below. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't, because if you're not, I'm gonna come to my house. I'm gonna come to your house. To be under your bed. I'm gonna fucking find you, bitch. Okay, that was totally not creepy. But anyway, so yeah, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, make sure to like, and we will see you guys in the next video. Bye!